Hello, this is Rick Frankel with THD, and we're now looking at the Nasdaq market. And we can see that we've had a magenta peak on the 45-minute chart, and we are waiting for the Buddha setup, which is to see the 3-minute flip the ATR, which it has just done, and come back down and test the ATR on volume divergence.
Short divergence on pullback to MA for Nasdaq on 3-minute chart.
We'll go through that
Short
together
divergence
so
on
we can see
pullback to ATR for CL
that
at
we made a
13
new
on
attempt at a
3-minute
low,
chart.
and that the volume dried up there on the 45-minute, which explains the magenta peak. So we come over here, we can see the price made a high. Price made a low. And again, we can see that the lows are, the sellers are starting to slow down. Okay. So what we're looking for is eventually we'll look for this high to be tested. But if we look at this high, you can see here that this is a downtrend, and so you can see that made a high, and we could technically move, but that was a down bar, so we'd move that to there, move that to there, and you can see that the sellers really increased. So you know that the sellers have become, the buyers are becoming interested. So we got a low. And if we look at this, we should see a lower low, which we do. So we come down to our lowest lows right there. So you can see that it was pretty much equal volume and wasn't able to get down to that. And you can also see that here, if we mark it from here and we come across, well, we've got this one here, but then we've got this one. So that shows us that they're losing interest also right there, that the sellers are losing interest. So we're trying to see some increase in buyers right now. So you can see here that the buyers gained interest, but it didn't get them anything. So we're watching to see what's going to happen here. And typically this is what you'll see, because you want the price to pull back down to the ATR. Then when it comes back to re-challenge this high right here, that's when you want to see the extra volume. So we're going to mark that in white because that's a point that we would like to see broken on higher volume when we come back and we test it after. Hopefully we'll
Short
get
divergence
the
on
ATR.
pullback to MA for Nasdaq.
You can also
on
enter this
3-minute
trade
chart.
at the SMA.
Short divergence on pullback to
See,
ATR
this
for
is
CL
best.
at
This is what you're
13 on
looking for. You
3-minute
want the
chart.
trend to change to bright blue. Then if it comes back on volume divergence to the SMA, you have a legal entry. Get my green line there, ready to move it. Here you can definitely see sellers have backed off dramatically. So So when you look at the 180 chart, you can see that we have a high, a low, we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're definitely in a downtrend, and you can see that there is strong down volume. So what's taking place now is that we're having a test for the buyers, and that's what's generated the magenta peak, is that the sellers are a little nervous coming in, and so they're testing. So you can also see, if we look across the bottom here, that price, if we go to here, right there, okay, and we look at this, you can see extremely low volume, and you see very, very high volume, okay? That's what we call hidden volume divergence. That also is a good indication that you had all that selling volume, and yet we weren't able to break that prior low. We broke it, we came back up and closed above it. So that tells me that price very well may continue up also, solidifying this magenta peak. You could say the same here on the 720. See how price came down, went back up, but see how small the volume was, see how large it was. That's giving you the same indication that you have the hidden divergence now in 2 higher time frames. So this here is telling us the price should come down. We had a high with a close down in the bottom. So now we want to watch for volume divergence. It's also good. See, we broke this high. We broke it on higher volume. So we're within 3 ticks of the SMA. We need to be with, okay, there we go. We made it within 1. So now, if we get an entry signal at the SMA, we could take it. I always prefer it to come down to the ATR though. That's a better entry, I feel. So we're going to go ahead and mark our first red bar. There we go. We got our magenta dot, which tells you it will retrace to some extent. So as long as this stays closed below here, we have a true reversal, which is what we're looking for. So we've come within 13 ticks of the ATR. So we need to have one more bar come down. It's got to break that low for us to say that we have volume divergence. So another trade I could have considered had I been paying more attention to the Nasdaq, and I didn't notice it by scanning my radar screen, was that over here on the 720 with this huge hidden volume divergence, when price broke the ATR and then came back up to the ATR, as soon as price was back up to the ATR, I should have gone long. If we look at that, we can see that that was somewhere around there. Yeah, it would have been right there. So it's not giving us volume divergence right now. You can count it against this one here, but it's too close. I don't like that. I'd really like to see it come down, but because of what's happened on the 720 and the 180, may not get that entry. We'll see here. So this is where it's really important that I stay patient and I follow my rules. So I have two entries for this trade. Volume divergence at the ATR, and I've only had one down bar that I can count for my volume, or volume divergence at the SMA. And it's the same thing. I have not had volume divergence at the SMA yet, so I have to be patient and keep waiting. There's a good chance I'll get another try because you can see that this volume here is low. And if we look at it equal to the bar prior to it, we can see the volume divergence. So hopefully it'll come back down and give me an entry, but it might not. Well, I may not get this entry. Okay, let's see what happens. So our price has been within 5 ticks of the SMA. We need it to be within 2 of the SMA or 5 of the ATR. We made it within 4 ticks of the SMA, 3 ticks. Two ticks of the SMA, so the SMA is now a legal entry consideration, but it still needs to come down 2 more ticks for the ATR to be in play. 1 more tick for the, there we go. Now the SMA and the ATR are both in play, and we want to see volume divergence. If we see volume divergence, we would enter the trade. It'd be really nice for it to break this low right here. That'd be perfect. It's what we want to see on volume divergence. Let's snap our line. There we go. So we do have volume divergence.
Order filled.
So we're going to take that trade. Okay, I've got my trade written down. Now let's put my entry. I was filled at 26.32.25. So we'll make that our green for our entry. My stop is 26.30. That's a nice stop. It's below the ATR, which is what you want. My first profit target is 26.3675. And I will make that yellow. I'll put my entry arrow right there. That's where I entered on the close of that bar. And I have time because price is going up, so we'll do a quick picture to document the trade. There we go. Trade is captured. Have everything written down and documented. Now, of course, if price was to come back down and flip that ATR, I would be out of this trade. So now is when you really want to see the buying volume increase to break that prior high. Right here. First we need to break this high, then this high. So our Clipper 1 is right there, so that's a crucial point. Clipper 2, 2641.25. Here we go. Save. Okay, so we got our Clipper 2 marked. So we're not seeing these buyers come in very heavy yet, so we really need to see that. We need to see the 12-minute ATR flip. We're only 3 ticks from that 12-minute ATR. We're about 6 ticks from Clipper 1. So the ATR needs to flip to get Clipper 1. But we definitely need to break this high. Right here. We need to break that high. So it looks like we have some buying volume picking up now. That's a good sign. Now we want to see that high broke. This is not when you want to see price make a new low. At the moment it's an inside bar. So that was an inside bar. It doesn't tell me anything. I can't see the volume that's attached to it. Have to wait for this next bar to see what's going on. If that low is broken, I will exit my trade. Need to see that high broke. Need to see that 12-minute ATR flip. Come on, buyers. There, we got one new high. Come on, let's get another one. See those buyers rolling in? Now we got some volume. Better than a minute and a half to go, and we're already at equal volume. Come on, let's get up there. It is not good. I'm out.
Order filled.
Exited my trade. I'm happy with what I got. So I'm going to document my exit. There we go. I got some profits. That's fine. Protected my account. I'm not going to take a chance because that's not a good sign when that bar closes down off that high. That tells me she's not ready to go up yet. So I'm very happy with what I did. So we're going to go ahead and stop the recording now.